years. Eh? Can you imagine if we had continued on the same path, where we had sew two shirt here and sew two uniform there, and we master that craft and control that market, and we were the hub for the Koreans to build these products and ship it to the world? Can you imagine what would have come out of that manufacturing sector right there? Because I'm certain that once these ladies, because it was mostly females that were, doing the sewing and stuff. Can you imagine when those persons, because what would have happened, is that these were low-key jobs, low-level jobs. So the woman who live out of Pienland, the whole of 2 miles, so back to Pienland, the whole of Mark Golden and all of them constituency with persons who are the lower end of the scale in terms of academic qualifications and ability to hold good jobs. They would have been employed, They would have been employed. Doesn't matter how small the money is. The fact of the matter is that they are going to work. They're collecting some money at the end of the week, no matter how big or small it is. So they would be part of the formal economy. They would be paying taxes. They'll be a part of the system. And over time, that manufacturing sector would have morphed into other stuff. I mean, who to tell? Today we would have been, I don't know. Because I am certain, look at the BPO sector, for example. It started out with a few, 1 or 2, and it just morphed into a huge, people just running in, soaking up all of the space of BPO. And the employment rate, the rate of unemployment went down because people were employed through the BPO sector. Small as it is, the job, the payments might be, but at least people are work. They might take a bus, they might go to work. Right? They might buy food in them area, they might do something. So, and it keeps them out of trouble. It keeps people are earning. The PNP never see that. The PNP believe that you must take people from Pienland and they must be paid the wage of a civil engineer. That is how the PNP think. The PNP believe that you should distribute everything we have. That's why when you get the economy, it grew at 9.6%. And those are accurate numbers now. In 1972. By 1975, they would have created 3 programs that would disseminate and dismantle all that money. Throw it through the window and give it to people. They created 3 programs that were specifically geared towards giving people money. Solidarity, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, just giving money to people. You say them go plant field owners and then take it go buy a Z90 bike and go buy ganja and keep dancing and rub out them in the middle. By 1975, we're out there begging and asking the world, asking IMF for a standby agreement. By 1975, 76, we were in Russia begging for assistance, and Russia said, we don't have nothing to give you. Whatever we give through Cuba. We build 2 schools and we give you some trucks for your public work department and we help you with some people for do your roads and something there. That is what we can give you. So anyway, out see 140-foot container with some sardine, take it and go give people them, that's all we can give you. That was Michael Manley. That is where Michael Manley brought us after a growing economy in 1972. We were rescued by Edward Seaga and the assistance of the United States. People tend not to want to say it. Like, oh, the United States didn't help us. Oh, the CIA wasn't here. Oh, hell no. The CIA was there. Thank God for the CIA. Had it not been for them, where would Jamaica be today? Huh? Where would Jamaica be today if the CIA never step in and help Eddie Seaga to turn over Michael Manley and rid the country of this evil? Where would we have been today? We don't know. And we took the economy in 1980. We were negative 5% in GDP. Negative 5%. So we were in the hole 5%. And by 1989, we managed to bring it back up to about 7% positive growth, positive GDP growth, 7%. And the Jamaican people made a fool of themselves. right? And allow Michael Manley to go into small groups and infiltrate the gain at the Jamaica Labour Party in the 1980s and win 1989 after a stellar performance, building out some of the greatest institutions that this country will ever have. Some of them will reaping the benefit of them to their heart. Trust NTA is one such. We just spoke about it a while ago. And we can go down the list. Hundreds of institutions built by Edward Seaga in the 1980s. And the Jamaican people choose to vote against him. They did that in 1989. So when the government, when the PNP received, when this country was handed over to the PNP in 1989, we were growing again by about 7%. And that carried on into the 1990s. And by 1994-95, Jamaica was on its knees again. Inflation rate was out of whack. Because the government again, under Michael Manley, started to create initiatives and programs to distribute whatever was gained by the JLP. That's what they did. Yes, Raja, that's what they did. They dole out whatever we put in the coffers, then dole it out to people. And by the mid-1990s, when the rest of the world had grown like a papa tree, a bust out root all over, countries are bubble up, economies all over the world are bubble up. Jamaica lost 40,000 businesses went under. The worst economic collapse in the history of this country. That was the PNP for you in the 1990s. Yes, an action that they have not paid the political price for yet. They haven't. The PNP have not answered to Jamaica about what really took place in the 1990s that caused us to go 30 years back when the rest of the world was moving 30 years forward. Yes, man. That is the PNP for you. And this is the very reason why it is important for young people to know why the PNP could and should never, ever be given a chance to run this country again. Because history can't run. You cannot rewrite history when the history is already written. You can't go back to the 1970s and change what is already there. You can't go back to the 1980s and change what is written. You have to deal with what you have done. The PNP have not paid any political price for none of these actions. None. The PNP in the 2000s leading up to 2007, when the Auditor General went through the books and looked at all the investment came into Jamaica, Jamaica was only getting 48 cents out of every dollar. The rest of the money went into people's pocket, into individuals' pocket, into politicians' pocket, into PNP pocket, Alston Stewart, right? The God himself, the God himself, the PNP, those are the persons whose pocket the missing money or the missing part of the investment went into their pocket. That is what those persons did to Jamaica, you know. PJ Patterson and all them henchmen them operate just like how communist people operate, where only people who are connected to the political party benefit. So that's why you had a few people within the PNP who make the money and them take 52 cents out of every dollar will come in as investment. That's why until today, when the GLP took office, and forgive me, anytime I want to cut me, they can cut me now. But anytime when the GLP took office in 2007, you realize that some of these very persons, some of the investment that we have in this country, when you look at it and you look at the value, the amount of job such investment should have produced, it never even produced 5% of it, because these investments never come in because they were to create job or to help the society. They came. Picture the amount of investment that Jamaica, that the GLP implemented, that were orchestrated, that were negotiated by the PNP. They were negotiated by the PNP. Some of them were even signed by the PNP, but they were never implemented. You ever wonder why? Because the PNP don't implement programs unless there's a mechanism in place for them to make money. And again, you can't beat evidence, you know. Can't beat evidence. They're so skilled at making sure that them line them pocket out of the country's coffers, to the extent that Cuba gave Jamaica some light bulb, you know, free. And so as part of your energy reduction effort, here is some light bulb for free. Distribute it to your people for free. I am sending you a group of individuals to assist you in the distribution. Free. All you have to do is put them up and give them some food. Right? If you want to give them like a stipend so they can go down if I go jump off, I give them. But I send you this free. I give the bulb and I give people to help distribute it. Free. And those very light bulbs end up costing us more than what a regular light bulb would have cost me. That is the PNP for you. So there is enough evidence out there, Rasta. There's enough evidence out there in Jamaican society now that if any Jamaican chooses to vote back for the PNP, they would have been doing an injustice to this country. And this is just in all honesty. You don't even have to politicize it. Because like me said, the evidence is right there. When a man like Andre Harton, who deal with finance, claim that he's a financial guru, he's a financial expert, right? When him choose in 2020 or 2019 to join the People's National Party, knowing, because I know he must have done some research and recognize that, all right, so the two political parties, which two would have managed the financial affairs of this country better? And when him choose the PNP over the GLP, it makes me wonder. Because there's no way on God's green earth, and we can challenge anybody. We can put up the stats, make we look at the era in which both parties rule, and make we see who deserved to run this country, who earned the credibility to run this country. The PNP certainly not. So Rasta, we have a job, you know. We have a job to secure this country.